Good afternoon, welcome back to Wolfie's Den. Today we're moving swiftly on with my Blu Ray collection, and we are on to the letter D. So with no more fuss, the first one up is Dad's Army. Classic, originally a classic BBC comedy series. This is the remake of it, or remake of the original film. So there's no original cast members in this, which is a shame because I think most of them are probably dead by the time they made this. It's Dad's Army. Next up, also originally BBC and still BBC, are two Doctor Who's. We have Doctor Who and the Daleks and Daleks Invasion Earth. Both with Peter Cushing as the Doctor. He played quite a good part in this. So that's the Doctor Who's. Next up we have our post-apocalyptic film, I think from the 70s I believe. Damnation Alley. One of the first sort of apocalyptic films. Quite a lot of special features on this one. Quite hard to get, I think. Anyway, actually I thought it was an 18, but actually it's only a 12. Next up, a horror film, The Dark and the Wicked. I must admit, I don't think I watched this one. I don't recognise any of their cast. That's The Dark and the Wicked. Next up, Dolph Lundgren, Dark Angel. Sci-fi horror. Next we have the director's cut of Dark City. I remember this being quite a slow film, quite hard to watch. So director's cut, Kiefer Sutherland and William Hurt in that one. Ooh, next up we have the Darkman trilogy with Liam Neeson. All three films in this one. I can't read the back because I think it's in German. I seem to pick up a lot of stuff from Germany. Get quite a bit over there you don't seem to get in this country. That's the Darkman trilogy. This one's in a nice slip. It's Stephen King film, The Dark Half. Ooh, let me just move some of these. Oh, nearly lost them all then. Right. Oh, next up, 2-disc special edition, The Dark Knight, Batman. Dark Shadows, Johnny Depp. Dark Skies, and a bit of a lenticular slip. I don't really see that well on there. Dark Skies. Collector's edition of Das Boot, the German U-boat film. It originally was a series, and this has been remade again as a series. Quite a long film. Next up, extended edition of Date Night. George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. One version I've got. I think I've probably got a few versions in various formats. This one is a digitally remastered German version. Didn't even know I had that one. And the unrated director's cut of the remake, Dawn of the Dead. This is pretty good on 4K as well. Then we've got, oh, this is quite a good one. This is Daylight with Sylvester Stallone. This is a German Turbine release. This has, where are we now? Dolby Atmos and forever who's got it, Auro 3D, which I think is some kind of 13:1:2 speaker configuration. But if this ever comes out in 4K, you won't need to buy the 4K. This is just as good. And then we have the original Daylight, original standard Blu-ray. Next up we have a Blu-ray limited edition of The Day After Tomorrow in the steelbook. Another classic disaster film, one of the better ones. Looks like an Italian edition, that one. Don't know much about this one. Obviously it must be a western with Lee Van Cleef in it. Day of Anger, an Arrow release. I imagine it's some kind of spaghetti western. Then we have Arrow releases of George A. Romero's Day of the Dead. Another classic zombie film. Oh, it's 3-disc. 3-disc edition, that is. Then we have Day of the Dead again. This is a remake. What a classic 60s English sci-fi. It's a film by Val Guest, who I believe did War of the Worlds. This is The Day the Earth Caught Fire. BFI edition. Next we have Day of Violence unrated. This looks like a mega bloody horror gangster type film. I remember buying this. For some reason I still haven't bloody watched it. It looks pretty pretty gory. Next up, The Dead, another zombie film. And Arrow releasing a nice slip cover of Deadbeat at Dawn. Although it's a nice release by Arrow. I remember the film being pretty boring and not very good at all. but it's a nice release. Right, let's move on to this lot over here now. We have The Dead Don't Die. It's got Bill Murray, Steve Buscemi, Iggy Pop, Adam Driver, Danny Glover. Quite a few big names in this. So The Dead Don't Die. Another zombie film. I think we're coming across quite a lot of films now with dead in the title. Next, Arrow film, Dead End Driving. Next one, with Robert Carlyle, Gary Oldman, we have Dead Fish. Looks like another gangster film. British gangster film. Dead Fish. Next up we have Deadly Blessing, Wes Craven film on Arrow. I believe this has Ernest Borgnine in it somewhere. I might be wrong. Yes, it does. Yeah. Deadly Blessing. I knew there'd be a few films with dead in the title. Then we have a nice slip cover of Deadly Games. Don't know much about this one. Another Arrow one. Deadly Games. Nice slip on that one. Then we've got Deadlier Than the Male. I think this is a bit of a James Bond type rip-off, I think. Next up is Deadly Prey and the Deadliest Prey. I think these are Vietnam vet type films. Probably along the Rambo type. I think classic 50s film this actually. Michael Redgrave, Mervyn Johns, Dead of Night. Very good film this. Black and white. Next is Dead Pit. I believe when this came out you could get it in a glow in the dark slip cover with it. I think it was going for a bit more extra dollar. Dead Pit. Will we ever run out of dead films? Of course, Deadpool. Deadpool 2? No, we had Deadpool 2, it must be on 4K. It's Deadpool on a slipcover. We all know about this one. Next up, in a slipcover, we have Dead Rising, Watchtower. Based on a PlayStation Xbox game. More zombie killings. Dead Rising. Right. More zombies in Dead Snow. Nazi zombies in this one. Dead Snow. Next up, we have George A. Romero presents Dead Time Stories Volume 1. Oh, and Volume 2. These are short story anthologies. Right. That's Dead Time Stories 1 and 2. Next up is Deathcember Uncut, 24 Doors to Hell. Then we have a British film called Deathgasm. I think this is to do with a heavy rock band involved in this one. Deathgasm. Next up, another British film is Deathline, cult horror with Donald Pleasence. We're certainly going through the dead and deaf films today. Moving on, we have Jason Statham extended version of Death Race, remake of the original Sylvester Stallone film. Death Race. I think there's been 2 or 3 of these on Blu Ray. Follow-ups. Then we have picked up from HMV, this one by the looks of it, because I haven't taken the sticker off, is Arrow's Death Screams. It's in like a nice window box. Death Screams. Ah, there it is again. Seem to have 2 of them. For some reason. And then we have Bruce Willis in Death Wish. Not a patch on the original, but Bruce Willis will never be Charles Bronson. Oh, I think we finished The Deaf and the Dead. So this one is slivers like a lenticular slip. It's a film called Debug. Next, Helen Mirren in The Debt. Next up is Mark Wahlberg, Kurt Russell, John Malkovich in Deepwater Horizon. Nice slip cover on that one. Move over here. I'll start another pile. Oh. Next up we have a nice, I suppose you call it a small media book of Robert De Niro in The Deer Hunter. This is Studio Canal Connection. Just got a, it's not quite a media book, it's just got some posters and some art cards in there, etc. It's done like a book. Next up is sci-fi, DEF CON 4. Arrow films. This one's in a nice slip from 88 films. Horror film. I think it might have been on one of the Video Nasties sections. A film called Delirium. Nice slip on that one. No embossing or anything, but nice slip. Next up, classic John Voight and Burt Reynolds in Deliverance. Squeal, piggy, squeal. Brilliant film with the classic dueling banjos in it, so everybody remembers the most, I think. Next, I can't really miss these. These are the shameless films. This is Delamonte Delamore, also called Cemetery Man. Italian horror. Oh, next up, this is a nice one, although I do have this in the 4K. This is Demons. Yeah, this is the Roberto Bava and Dario Argento bring you the gonzo horror movie of the 80s. Yeah, there's loads of special features on this. As I say, it's got a steelbook. I can't get it out. It's like a steelbook plastic as well, cover. Quite heavy. Next up we have Gerard Butler in Den of Thieves. Followed swiftly by Deranged, The Confessions of a Necrophile. Sounds nice. Family entertainment. Another Arrow release. After having that for Confessions of a Necrophile, we move on to Despicable Me. Bad. Well. Looks like we have a nice steel book. This is The Devil's Double, Gold Bullion Limited Edition Collector's Set. Really nice. A nice Hammer film. Do enjoy this one. So Christopher Lee, Charles Gray in The Devil Rides Out. Nice little slip on it. That one. One of my favourite one of my favourite Hammer films. It's The Devil Rides Out. Next up we have Donald Pleasance in The Devonsville Terror. Next up we have Devoured, another horror film. Swiftly followed by Robert De Niro in Dirty Grandpa, extended edition, longer and dirtier. Then we have an extended cut of Sacha Baron Cohen in The Dictator. I think I must have picked that up at a car boot because I wouldn't normally go out and buy that. Next is Jeffrey Combs in Dr. Mordred, Master of the Unknown. That's Jeffrey Combs of Reanimator fame. Next up, another nice steelbook, classic 1960s film, Omar Sharif, Julie Christie in Dr. Zhivago. So we're moving around here in genres. I suppose mostly have horror, but there's certainly other things here. Next up we have Danny Dyer in Doghouse. Next up is uncut and HD remastered version of a film called Dogs. Another German pickup. And then we have Don't Breathe 2. I must have missed out on Don't Breathe 1. Alright, last pile. Nearly there. Next up we have Arrow's comparatively recent release of Don't Go in the House. I suppose you could call this one a bit of a boutique edition, maybe. Next up we have Don't Open Till Christmas. Looks like a slasher. Then we have The Rock in nice slip colour of the Doom. Not the Doom, based on the game. PC game, PlayStation game, whatever. Doom. Then we have Arrow, Doom Asylum. Nice artwork on that one. Doom Asylum. Then we have Doomsday, another post-apocalyptic type film. More of a British theme, this one. Doomsday. Haven't seen that for a while. Oh, bit of music here. We have an Oliver Stone film, 20th anniversary special edition. This is, I think it's Val Kilmer playing in The Doors. Jim Morrison. I've been told this is quite good, this one. I still haven't watched it because it's still sealed. This is Double Date. Those are recommended. I can't remember who by. I was disappointed with this one. This is Matt Damon in Downsizing. Obviously something I don't do with my collection. Downsizing, no. We've got some Dracula films here now. This is Dracula, the Lord Who Conquered Death. This is Bram Stoker's Dracula as portrayed by Jack Palance. Also got Simon Ward and Nigel Davenport in this one. So we have Jack Palance as Dracula. Then we have Frank Langella as Dracula and Laurence Olivier as Van Helsing in Dracula. Then we have the so-called, well, not the original, but the Hammer original. So the 3-disc set. This is Dracula with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. So that's the first Hammer Dracula. Then we have Dracula Untold. Next up we have Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn in Dragged Across Concrete. Personally found this pretty boring. Just dragged on and on, let alone dragged across concrete. You just dragged on. That's just my opinion anyway. Next up, Sam Raimi film. This was quite good horror. Drag Me to Hell. Oh, this is another one of these German Turbine editions. This is Dragon Heart. Loads of features. Sound is excellent on this. Next up we have Dragon Wars. Nearly there. Then we have Brian De Palma's Dress to Kill. Then Abel Ferrara's Driller Killer. Another Hammer film, Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. Bit of a different play on the classic. Oh, nice steelbook of Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee's Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. Nice steelbook. Also got Donald Sutherland in there. And last of the normal collection, 50th anniversary edition of Steven Spielberg's first film, Duel, with Dennis Weaver. I've just got a few what you may call boutique ones. Oh, not too many. An Ultimate Edition, which I think is French, in a steelbook of Dark Knight Rises. Then we've got a nice box set of Ultimate Girly film Dirty Dancing. This has got various things in there. There's a t-shirt in there. Oh, what else is in there? Not sure. Various things in there. Nice box set, Dirty Dancing. It's all sealed. And we have a nice steel book of Hammer film, Dracula, Prince of Darkness for Christopher Lee. It's a nice steel book. Then we have June. And there's only 33 of these made, so that's quite. It's number 31 of 33. It's like a video case. That's what it says there. Yeah, 31 of 33. So very limited. And last we have a nice media book of Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. So there we are, wrapped up with Blu-rays from D. If you want to know any more about any of the films I've showed you, please make some comments below or ask me some questions. I'm quite happy to answer for you. So next time round will obviously be E. I don't think there'll be quite so many films in that one. So if you feel you want to subscribe, please feel free to do so. Make comments, etc, etc. No problems. So until next time, this is Wolfie saying goodbye. See you on E.